Hello and welcome to the Shout Out Podcast. My name is Dan, and for a final time alongside me, my co-host, Dan. How are you, mates?
G'day, Waterfall. How you going, mate?
Oh, you're Waterfall. I'm hooked.
Okay, g'day.
Yeah, good start. And also joining us for the final time, Sammy Moten.
Thanks, guys. Equal parts embarrassing and excited to be here.
Thank you, mates. And
Welcome.
we went all out today. We are in the Voice It podcast studio.
33 King William Road.
Correct, in the mezzanine. Thanks to Grant. He kindly donated this as a prize at the MND SA Ball. Bit of a debacle on trying to get it. I went up and in the silent auction bidded $150 to win this one. And with 20 seconds, yeah. And then with 20 seconds to go, a guy who was sitting with us, Jack Prance, came up and bidded $151 and beat me. But
Friend of the podcast.
What he did is he donated it to me as a present. I was pissed off at him for about 5 minutes before he said, "It's yours, mate."
Thanks, Prancy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Appreciate
to Prancy, and also thank you to our sponsor, the last remaining sponsor. There's been a few over the journey, but Fierce 3.
Shout out to them.
Yes, shout out.
With us till the end.
They were. So
Well, they only started
yeah,
last
actually,
year, I think.
Yeah, but I think
you know.
he came on and thinking that we were going to do heaps more episodes, and then we just stopped. So we really appreciate that support. So Wahib, our physio, it's his wife now, Lisa.
Yep.
So thank you. I've been to Lou's restaurant. Shout out to them. They run that too.
In the Barossa.
Yep.
How was it?
Very good. Very good. So anyway, we got told that this is getting recorded on video. So
Yep.
so Grant told us to scrub up. That was the order. So what have we all gone for?
I've gone for the straight from work look.
Yep.
Sort of situational rather than anything else. You
Yeah.
guys are obviously going crabbing later.
I think out of all three of us, Motes looks the best.
Yeah.
In the linen number and the
Yep.
the chinos. I went with like more of a summery vibe. I thought it was quite warm outside and
Yeah.
got the Umundi Markets shirt on. So really liking this. I
Umundi
actually only
Markets?
started wearing this sort of green colour recently.
They could come on as a sponsor.
You guys like that sort of colour?
I do,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Brings
in-
out my
that's
eyes.
in
I
the green.
reckon
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 shirts I've only bought in the last 6 months in this colour. Otherwise, before then I was pretty like navy and white.
Well, I listened back to a few old episodes and we spoke about how we purely only would wear grey or navy.
Yeah.
Comfiest
So-
colours.
Yeah, correct. So we've moved away from
I was
that.
also 27 back then. Now I'm 3 years older. And,
Yeah, I know. It's
what colour is this?
I'd say
sage.
it's green. Yeah.
Sage. Yeah.
I've gone for the new baggy t-shirt with a baggy jean. I got some feedback that skinny jeans are out.
Yeah.
And the baggy jean is in. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that colour jeans in. I'm not sure about those jeans in particular. And I don't know about the writing there as well.
In the middle.
I think, yeah, they've got
Where
that
does the
upside
writing
down.
have to be? Thrills?
Yeah.
Is that upside down?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Looks good.
thanks, mate. I told I've dressed a little bit old, so I've
And you've got the brothel creepers on as
yeah,
well.
got the
I did
got
notice
the,
that.
the Birkenstock brothel creepers. So yeah,
And you got a haircut for tonight?
I did, of course. A few greys coming through. Once again,
It's a
listening,
privilege, Gil.
listening back to the old episodes. When this first started, I was so devastated that I was almost about to turn 30,
Yep.
and now 32, and it's really only gotten worse.
Yeah. 32. I didn't realize. So it was 2020 when it started.
Correct, May 2020.
Was this a pandemic thing or you guys just
Yeah, I think we're going to allude to that first.
Spoke about it, I think, but
foreshadowed?
We sort of thought we were going to do it at one stage, and then the pandemic sort of made us like you could only have like 2 or 3 people over at a time. Yeah. What a time.
so yeah,
I remember the first one we recorded upstairs, and like
we did.
we didn't have headphones.
Yeah.
We just had microphones, and I think we were just talking about like Danny Laidley. That was like the moment of the time.
You're going for a real sort of hot topics sort of stuff.
Yeah.
there, and then you sort of just evolved back into just talking about our direct group of friends.
There was a moment in time where
started macro, went micro. It's usually the
Yeah.
opposite.
I thought, maybe like if this became anything, like it'd be good. Like if I could just become a podcaster, and like for a while, then you're like, oh, let's get guests on, like, let's build our listenership, and then like we just realised that we were just shit. So
Yeah. That first episode sitting at the end of my bed, there was no run sheet. We just kind of just like, all right, so what's in the news? And
Was this like the genesis? Was it sort of a conversation over a couple of beers, like we should do a podcast? How?
I think I'd always wanted to do it, and then I reached out to DMAC thinking
Yeah.
he'd be a good podcast partner. Regretted that, obviously, in hindsight.
Yeah.
Listening back as again, I've gone back and listened to every episode in the last 2 weeks.
I did
and,
notice the listen numbers did double during the week.
Yes, yeah, I know.
even though you're not a part of listen numbers at all.
Yeah, I know.
Don't have access to that.
Yeah, but I wish I could say that we improved over the journey, but
I think like I laugh at it, but it's like because I'm part of it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people wouldn't laugh at it.
I actually hate listening to my own
Yeah,
voice, how bad it is.
Absolutely.
I think I'm ruining it. But last episode we had was 30th of Jan, 2023,
Okay.
over a year ago now. So I guess what's happened since then? You went away on holiday, D-Mac?
I've been on a few holidays, but nothing overly interesting to tell from the Japan holiday. But Jackie and I went to Japan for a couple of weeks.
Why did you tell me to put it on the run sheet then?
No, not my run sheet. I've got a different one here.
Did you do the Super Mario thing?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we did the so actually last year I won my 4th Mario Kart award.
I purposely didn't put that on the run sheet.
Yeah.
And we went to Super Mario World in Osaka, the Universal Studios, and that was unreal. But like we had to get there at like 8 a.m. even earlier just to get in at 6 p.m. Like it was like a 10-hour time wait to get into. Jackie hated it.
Fair.
Went skiing, which was unreal. Certainly want to go back. Jackie and I did the shark diving in Port Lincoln for my 30th birthday.
Yeah, great.
That was I didn't really enjoy the idea of it, but that was like really cool. Got seasick on the way back.
Just from like a Greenpeace type perspective, or you don't like going offshore, or what's it about?
I
Gone cold, Greenpeace.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they at lately?
Yeah.
I think the idea of like I didn't think we were going to see a shark. Like I heard like bad news about seeing them, but we ended up seeing like 3, which was cool. And yeah, I think did you two go away at one point?
Yeah, we did. May. The motor and I went to Bali.
Yeah, one of the great trips.
Yeah. It kind of was just supposed to be a bit of a relaxing trip, turned into just a pretty of a karaoke type crawl. You know, going from bar to bar. They weren't even karaoke bars, and we would find our way onto the stage.
Was it just you two?
There would be times where there'd just be a band playing, and I'd be at the bar getting a drink. I'd turn around, the Weeds up on stage, just singing. Usually James Blunt.
I will call you up every Saturday night.
It's a flawless impersonation, but
no, relaxing. 1973.
We didn't have a no singing rule on the trip. We had a
go again.
That's going to sound crispy coming through the professional audio system, but yeah, we did have a couple of rules on that trip, Weed, that I think sort of helped us have a relaxing time.
Can I just go time out?
Yep.
Was it just you two?
And Sam Wilson.
And you thought it was going to be a relaxing holiday, or did you think you were going to have a big one?
No, we probably thought we were going to go out a couple of times in hindsight. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. But yeah, we did have some rules, didn't we, mates?
Yeah, we had some rules on the trip. Sort of a couple of days in, there's some lingering stomach issues and some ailments floating around. So I think as a group, we came up with the rule of if you're sick and it's not going to affect anyone else, just don't talk about it.
Yeah, I like that.
That really worked well on the trip.
Yeah.
And I only really remembered that when I was going through my camera roll the other day, and there's a couple of shirtless selfies that Gilb and I did take in the mirror, D-Mac, and there's a big sort of patch over his shoulder, and he had a big Roger Rashid breakout. He did get the doctor into the hut, I think at least twice, possibly 3 times.
Yeah, we couldn't put our finger on where the rash came from, unfortunately.
It certainly wasn't contracted in the bedroom because there was not a lot of action there, but still to get to the bottom of the rash issue.
I am rash free now, fortunately.
Okay, salmonella free as well.
Both times I've gone to Bali, I had salmonella the first time, couldn't walk, and then the second time
just come back with a chronic illness
with a Roger Rashid.
Such a good rule as well, because last time we went to Bali, Gil was like walking at the back with his walking stick. He's like, "Wait up, my knees are swollen."
I think we were sitting around the table at Sisterfields, which is a great sort of breakfast spot, and I just heard 2 or 3 comments from different members of the group. Sam Wilson was also with us. Shout out to Sam Wilson. Just about sort of stomach issues, and I just thought I don't need this. I'm healthy right now, and you're bringing me down. So please don't mention it again.
Any other rules?
Well, in saying that, was there another rule?
The other rule was don't pay each other out.
Yeah,
so that one was
true.
harder.
That's true. That's hard because it's so easy to pay someone out.
Yeah.
Especially if they've got a rash. So I was fortunate with that rule. But I think Motes went on with a no complaining rule right up until we got to the airport, and then he absolutely cracked the shits.
Yeah, don't get in between me and a line at the airport.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially it's the last thing you want after a big holiday.
Bali Customs isn't the place to be sleep deprived. That's all I'll say.
And I guess we thought we had Alex Kelly's wedding like just after Bali, so we thought it'd be a good opportunity to
shout out or not really.
Yeah, shout out. Me and Motes were emceeing that, so thought it was a good opportunity to run through everything, and we just didn't do anything in the end.
Yeah, didn't still nailed the wedding though. I thought.
Yeah, that's gonna be the first time an MCs have ever given themselves an entrance.
Yep.
What do you think, D-Mac? You were there.
I didn't see the entrance. No, I was coming late from footy.
Okay.
We just lost to Salisbury North by 20 goals. So,
The rest
Great days
of
all
the emceeing, any good?
yeah, I thought it was great. Is that like the third time you guys have done it together?
Second.
Waiting on the third invite.
Yeah, okay.
Waiting on the third invite.
I'm all out of gigs.
Well, I think the synergy that you two have is quite good, but then sort of maybe
Should do a
make it a bit
podcast.
about yourself, Gil.
Purely Gilb, I
Yeah.
do have to bring it
I
back
think
a bit.
Moses, yeah,
I
Moses
think
is
that's
right.
why the combo works, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I usually like to go solo, but thought I'd.
But how's the feedback from that? You'd surely be booked out for the rest of the year, Gil?
You'd think so, mate. You'd think so, but have dried up. No gigs left.
Last time we
unfortunately.
were recording a podcast, you would have been a host of a quiz night.
The quiz night, we decided mutually we didn't want to continue with that
Mutually
anymore.
terminated.
All 8 people that rocked up to the last one. There was a moment where there's like an intermission halfway through, and there was one last guy, and I went up to the table. I said, "Where did that bloke go?" And they said, "Oh, it's a good night." So we thought might go do parkour.
That's code for he's just jumped out the window
Literally.
rather than listen to the rest of that crap.
And then I was also doing the South Adelaide Panthers.
Go the Panthers.
Work, so
Shout out
just
to my brand.
yeah, and I was going up there every Saturday. So just a quick little drive up to Noarlunga, 6-hour shift, getting paid $100. The low point was probably when I had to do a running race and commentate it between a Balfour's Frog Cake and the South Adelaide Panther.
Who won that race?
The Balfour's Frog Cake got up, which
That's not
would you have picked
surprising.
that?
Frog cakes, surprisingly agile.
Noarlunga's such a bad atmosphere as well because everyone's in their cars, so no one's really actually
Correct.
around the ground or
Correct.
giving you anything.
Did you have a few sort of standing like toot your horns for the Panthers?
Make some noise.
What noise is Panther, mate?
Motes.
No, I'm not going to touch that one.
We might add some sound effects there. So
I reckon-
nothing left.
I don't know if it was in our last podcast, but my family were going to come to one of your quiz nights, and then you're like, so I'm like, do we have to book on the Monday night? You're like, no, it'll be fine. And then Tuesday night, you're like, sorry, mate, it's sold
booked
out.
out.
You can't come. So
It was
you
when the
must have
Queen-
lost popularity pretty quickly.
The Queen died, and it was a
That's
public
right.
holiday, so everyone just wanted to go to the pub.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all done.
Did Damo end up taking you out for dinner for the...
Still haven't got a dinner. 18 months since the Queen died. I'm yet to receive my Penfolds dinner.
Was Prince Charles folded into that wager?
Oh, Jesus.
Might be a little bit soon on that one, Motor.
For those that aren't aware, Dan Gilbert and Damien Moore had a bet on who would die first out of David Attenborough and the Queen. Gilb famously had the Queen.
We do prefer you go back to the other episodes and listen. But if you have to
we
hear
did
it now
talk
for the
about
first
it a
time,
lot.
that's what's happening.
But yeah, now unfortunately Prince Charles has just been diagnosed with cancer. So unfortunately, so
okay.
Speaking of, I guess, illnesses, I realised something the other day. I went into the chemist, and you know when you've got a prescription, this wasn't for my rash, by the way, but you go into a chemist and you give them the prescription, and then they look at it and they go, come back in 10, 15 minutes.
Mm.
What are they doing?
Chemist stuff, mate. I got an alchemist back there.
What do they do? Like how long? Like literally, the pills are sitting there. Grab
Yeah.
them, put the thing on it, give it back to me.
I think they make some of them, do they?
Yeah,
Make the pill.
they're mixing them live, mate.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, that's kind
It's
of
like
that,
rhubarb.
I've got this theory that chemists have all the pills. They're just sitting there, and the only reason they take a while is so you walk around the chemist and
Like Willy Wonka's
buy some
factory.
stuff. Yeah.
You would buy things at the chemist, though.
So
What's-
just-
Yeah.
do
I
they
always come out with some vitamin C's and
Yeah.
yeah.
Do they like clump them, or is it mainly the ones that come in the capsules that they?
Oh, I didn't provide. I'm not sure.
That's outside of our
Well, yeah, I do think about that, and they're always like, you had that before, yeah, your home brand, yep. And then you go to the person like to get the thing. Have you had that before, home brand? Yep. You're not supposed to have it with sunlight, and then you go to the front person, they're like, oh, by the way, are you taking anything else? And it's like, fucking just give me my pills.
vitamin C. Yeah. So yeah, I guess listening to the last episode that we had, and this being the last
a
episode.
A couple of real cliffhangers in there.
Yeah, there was, and everyone's been asking me, but we thought, let's tell them on the pod. There's a few loose ends we need to tie up.
Mhm.
So, DMAC, you told us about the Oscars last time.
Yes. In all honesty, how many people have asked you about the pod in the last year? I reckon 3 or 4 people, maybe.
It's not a lot.
No, so I did ask both of you to watch a film, and we would talk about it next time that we were on air. So
Yep.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I challenge you guys to give it a go.
Yep.
Yep.
Watch it?
And nothing, nowhere, never.
No. Is that the one where with Pierce Brosnan and
It
Robin
is
Williams?
Sally Field.
Yeah, that one. Is that?
And
Yeah, that's the one.
He's
And,
got a brother that's got a background in special effects for
that's the
movies.
one. Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
gets a full cast of his face made.
Yeah.
And he basically hoodwinks his way into this family. And he sort of babysits his own kids.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
that's
think
the one.
that's not the
Everyone-
right
That's
one.
the, is that not the movie
That's
I'm
not
thinking
the movie
about?
I was watching.
But she does that line in the.
Yeah, hello. Oh, is that?
No,
that's
no,
Mrs.
that's
Doubtfire.
Doubtfire.
Let's get those two
Or,
confused.
I think that might be the something about Mary.
Yeah, okay.
But that ended up winning Best Picture.
Yep. Did you predict that?
So
I did predict that in the last episode.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I did watch it. It was a great, heartwarming film.
Yeah.
Set in a laundromat in like some Southeastern Asian country.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh that starred in the film, she won Best Actress for 2023. And Brendan Fraser in The Whale, which we did speak about, he got Best
Controversial.
Actor.
I
Controversial
did
as
watch
well.
that one.
So I thought I would give you an update for the 96th Academy Awards that we'll have early in March for the 2024 Oscars. See if you guys watched any of these films.
Yep.
So Barbie,
I did actually.
yeah, thoughts?
Sexist.
Reverse,
I just didn't think it was very good.
Maestro.
Bradley Cooper movie.
Yeah, apparently real
so.
Like he just made it just to try and win an Oscar. It's pretty average.
Yeah. Yeah.
Past Lives, Poor Things, Oppenheimer.
I'm gonna be honest. So I'm a real sort of watch at home sort of operator these days.
I think Oppenheimer's out on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay.
I got an hour. Sounds rude because I heard it's very good, but I only watched an hour and I wasn't really concentrating and I just turned it off.
It's about the rash.
Too busy scratching your shoulder.
The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, which is the one with Leo.
Yeah.
See that?
Nope.
Okay, neither. So my prediction will be Oppenheimer. No surprises there. I think everyone did enjoy that, but I think the sneaky runner-up might be The Holdovers, which I think is quite a good film with the guy from
Flubber.
no Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti,
yeah,
big
Billions.
fan of Paul. Yeah,
Yeah,
he won the
he's not a
Golden
big fat
Globe.
guy.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
Said-
Matt in the middle.
It
Yeah.
becomes blue.
Said something about a little blue car. Didn't say anything about a little blue man. He was famously pictured after the Golden Globes. I did catch up on that. He was eating a burger in a fast food restaurant with his Golden Globe sitting on the table.
I do the Oscar stuff.
Yeah,
mate,
okay.
so-
I'm more of a Golden Globes operator.
Yeah, I do like the Golden Globes when Ricky Gervais hosts. It's real good stuff. Just quickly, Best Actress. You don't really need to hear much of this, but I think
This is in-depth analysis.
Lily Gladstone will probably win from Killers of the Flower Moon, the film with Leo. I heard she did a really good job, but
Yeah.
Emma Stone
You
also
haven't seen it though.
Emma Stone also on Poor Things. I've heard great things as well.
Mm.
Best Actor, everyone I think will probably go with Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Was Vin Diesel nominated at all?
That's like Fast 10.
Family.
Was there a new Meg movie?
Yes, and we'll get to that. I think that's in the run sheet. Isn't it?
Let's give a head buds.
But yeah, the main things were the snubs. Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie for Best Director and Best Actress didn't get nominated for their work with Barbie, and Zac Efron in The Iron Claw was apparently quite bad to miss out. So we'll wait and see. But if you want to make a bit of money, put a multi on those three to win, and you should win a bit of cash.
Whilst I didn't really like the Barbie movie, I thought Margot Robbie was fantastic in the role.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no thoughts on that.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So, and then I think in the last episode, you also proposed that we have a shout out event in which we all go and watch the Meg 2 together.
Well, we did.
We just forgot to invite any of the listeners.
Yeah, well, we, myself, yourself, speaking to you, Hoops.
Oh, yep.
Alex Kelly, Tom Wilson, friends of the show, shout out to them, and Christian Rook.
Yeah.
When he thought we'd go and watch it on a Sunday afternoon, the Meg 2, The Trench, after the first Meg, which ended up grossing 530 million in the box office just quietly.
Wow.
I've got that in my notes. So
Impressive.
off 130 million budget.
I'd say just on that grossing 530 mil, is that a true figure?
Wikipedia.
It's really
Yeah.
popular in China.
I was about to say that. Chinese market loves
Love Megs.
Megs and Fast and Furious. They love big explosions.
Yeah.
and
And
good
Godzilla?
special effects. Yeah.
Well, because like Godzilla versus Kong, that was pretty average, but apparently it went really well. And apparently the new Godzilla is actually quite good. I've heard.
That'll be on the next Oscars chat.
But then we got to the cinema maybe like 20 minutes before the film, and they're like, the only seats available are the 4 at the front.
Yeah.
Like the cinema was booked.
Thank you. That's exactly where I want to be.
Yeah. So,
As close to the Meg as possible.
so
Get me in that trench.
the film What do you want to give us a quick synopsis? What happens?
I can't remember. There was a Meg. I don't want to give away any spoilers because I know everyone's going to want to watch it.
There was a trench at about 200 kilometres underneath the ocean floor.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
it wasn't as good as the first.
No, it didn't make much
It's a hard
sense.
act to follow, really, isn't it?
But it so far 400 million at the box office over a similar sort of budget. So they're doing quite well with the Meg films, as Moto you've pointed out. And there are 8 novels in the Meg series, so we've got plenty to look forward to.
Fantastic.
Hell's Aquarium.
Genuinely shocked that's based on a book.
Did you read a book about a Meg? An action.
Yeah,
No.
vastly different products, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
All right. Well, it's already happened. We did it.
No, the Meg 3, the Hell's Aquarium.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's go back to the shout out viewing.
a great
We'll
title.
definitely invite the listeners for the next shout out.
Yeah.
What else? Tying up loose ends. I got blocked by a girl on Instagram.
Not a new experience
It
for
was,
yourself.
it was an ex, wasn't it?
No, been on a couple of dates. Turns out she deleted her Instagram. Didn't actually block me. She appeared later. That was a bit of a cliffhanger. Marcus Quinn was a bit worried about me. He wanted an update. So
How did you find that out? I'm really interested in
Did
that.
she
She
listen to
disappeared
the-
again.
she
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's the best way to find out.
Yeah. Or maybe she blocked me for a
Yeah,
little bit and then thought,
exactly.
yeah, get
That's
him back.
perhaps the only good way to find out.
Get
If
him
I
back.
found out you popped out of a wheelie bin and asked her, then I'd be calling the authorities.
Yep. Genius tipping update. We still don't know who the genius is,
Yeah.
but the Australian Open just occurred. How did that go?
It's the question on everyone's lips: who was the genius?
The Genius Tennis Tips did really well for the Australian Open 2024.
Yep.
He or she predicted both the men's and women's champion at the start of the tournament.
Yep.
So they put a small little unit on Sinner at 750 and Sabalenka at 550. And 5 out of the 12 betting days were winning days. So
Wow.
How many units were you up? Were you in the sort of Simon Blackburn stratosphere of
I'm not
40,000
sure.
units, career units?
Simon Blackburn is up exactly 300 units from last
Yeah,
year.
okay. Yep.
Yeah, so
And if your
no,
units are $300,000, that's that's getting up there.
exactly. And I think I know we take the piss out of the Genius a fair bit, but that's some good results, and you should probably start to subscribe online if you're interested in winning some money. Because I'd like to try and grow that following once this podcast.
Look forward to it.
The
Yeah.
genius would, I've heard, yeah.
Why are you answering the questions when you don't know who the genius is?
Moto.
Well, good luck for next year.
Gil, you had no mates at Run Club, mate.
Yep, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
That was a good story.
Yeah, that was
Because you asked Moto and me,
Did you
how
use
should
any
go
of my
about making
tips?
Mates? Yeah.
Like,
So
did
I-
you buy the same shoes as the
same-
best runner and sort of click ankles and say we got the same shoes and
Yep.
start from there?
Yep, did that.
Yeah.
Didn't
How'd
work.
that go?
Didn't work.
Yeah, I said maybe go to the butcher with one of them.
See what they're ordering.
Just try that one. I guess as in terms of an update, yeah, I've still got no mates out there, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
Still at the back of the pack.
Yep, still at the back, not improving at running, not making any friends.
You've
Yep.
got a 10K run this Sunday.
Yep. So leave everyone on another cliffhanger. See how I go.
Runners one coming.
I think my problem is that I don't like go full into these cults. Like it's obviously a bit of a cult, the gym and stuff. I kind of just get in, get out. I think you got to fully entrench yourself. If you're gonna cult out, go to the get coffees with them, go like hang out with them. I just kind of rock up, leave, don't talk to anyone.
Well, they do say about Adelaide that you come to Adelaide and it's really hard to make new friends because everyone just doesn't want to make any friends outside of their own group of friends.
True.
Yep.
Whereas in Darwin, it's a much like transient sort of place. Everyone's just
Everyone's on
getting
the
to know
run, so they're looking for co-conspirators. Yeah.
you.
I think that's just a plus 30 thing. I don't think there's really much room in anyone's circle for,
simply 30.
yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much tying up all the loose ends. I'm happy that everyone knows what's going on. We don't want to leave any cliffhangers there. So
How'd you go with that pyramid scheme that you started?
Sam Flanagan's still continuing with his pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't got anything from him lately.
You made lots.
Good luck to him. So yeah, as I said, I went back and listened to every episode that we'd recorded. Took a few notes. For some reason, we used to talk about Who Dares Wins a lot. I've realised with Mike Whitney,
I think we looked for niche Australian television show references
Yeah.
and things that we thought were funny.
who was in the cash cow.
Yeah,
We
you
spoke
liked
about
who was that guy that used to make shopping?
Aristos, the surprise chef.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
I think we
one.
spoke about him 4 times. I hadn't
Yeah,
heard of him yet.
yeah. I don't know why we got stuck on a few things. We talked about our horse City Beats a lot. Unfortunately, rest in peace, City Beats. We had a pretty successful. We bought another horse, so
Yes.
that went pretty well, didn't it, Sam?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. He might. I'm not sure if he's dead or not.
Yeah.
I know Lord George ran on Sunday.
How'd it go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dead
running.
last, probably,
Yeah.
based on recent form.
Yeah, we used to talk about what was in the news that week, but thinking back, if on a podcast, that's probably not what you're supposed to do because people can listen to it at any time.
It was a lot of just reading the headlines.
Yeah.
And then
not delving into
not
it.
delving into it.
We
yeah.
would just
not give any opinion. Or
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes before the show. I would just go on the Daily Mail and try to find stuff to talk about.
Like if you're a recognised podcast, that's what some of them do. Talk about news and current affairs, and like people that's got like a heavy social media and they talk about their own opinions, but we don't really have our own opinions.
Or listeners.
Yeah, I noticed the next on the run sheet is that you used to edit a lot, and there was a 2-minute song just randomly in the middle of a pod, and I do remember. I think when you first started out, you did have the intention of it sounding like you're listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting sort of devolution, like regression from they don't want to listen to the radio, so they're going to listen to a podcast because they don't like the songs in between the chat. But now we're going to make it sound like the radio. So
one gripe I do have with Hoops is that early on when he was
one of many.
Are we still doing the rule where you don't pay each other out?
We're not in Bali anymore, Toto.
When you do, like you were like, oh, I'll edit it, and you edited like the first 6, but you like edited the clips in way too long. Like the top 5 of Rob Schneider, the one with the links, goes for about 2 minutes.
I know.
But you were trying your best.
Sorry.
No, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, Daily Mail, that's what we used to use. I remember you trying to give us a movie review of a David Spade movie.
The Wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy. You got halfway through and just went, this is shit.
Yeah, it's a bit of Mal Meninga about that.
Yeah. We'll put the 2-minute clip in.
Yeah.
Were you there for that?
I remember listening.
I
think it was Tommy O'Malley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. Oh, that was
maybe Ruben Lane.
That one of the good ones rocked up for that one. That was a washout, wasn't it?
I remember, we laugh at our own jokes too much.
No.
Probably going back to like trying to make it sound like the radio. That's very radio presenter.
But I would listen back, and not once was I like listening to it laughing. Yet during the podcast, I was laughing. So.
Yeah, I always try to put myself in the mind of the listener, which was never a great idea.
That's evident.
No, we needed some. Laughing at jokes. Space Dan, how was that?
No, you missed one.
Oh, here we go. We could just skip it. We used to always ask the audience. Oh no, what am I talking about?
You'd ask.
Yeah,
we'd talk about something and ask.
And then we'd ask them to send it through.
Yeah,
and then we would just never talk about it again. Yeah, it's good podcasting.
Yeah,
I think
in hindsight, we need a producer or something to keep us on track.
And probably no better time to introduce Grant, the new full-time,
full-time
producer.
I think this
game is to freight the tank.
If we get enough listeners, this is going to become a regular thing again.
Currently sat through about 1,800 seconds, and I think he's counting the last.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes in. Well done.
Wow. Space Dan, have we got any space updates?
Space Dan, I thought was great, and once again, I had to try and put myself in the chair of the listener.
I was a big fan of Space Dan.
Yeah,
as a listener.
Bill Giuliano, as our number 1 fan, was.
Yeah.
But I did get some very negative feedback. But your brother enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people thought I was trying to be funny, and they're like, "Oh, it's a bit awkward," but there's actually honestly,
giving space updates,
and nothing better than on your favorite podcast. But I don't have anything for today. Just trying to think recently if there's any space news off the top of my head. Come back to me.
I'll say it was as interesting and as factual as any scientific based guest that Joe Rogan's ever had on. So
yeah, do you listen to that podcast?
Not regularly, no.
Yeah,
no. And then the last note I took, there was just far too many impressions, which is mainly my fault because I was the one doing them all.
I heard one today when I was re-listening. You gave a good Chief Wiggum.
I'm Chief Wiggum. Should I give one last?
That's the rule. I just want to touch on what you just did there. So when someone does an impersonation, they often just do the voice and say, "I'm the person. I'm Chief Wiggum." He's never said that in the history of the show.
He sometimes says Clancy.
Yeah, that's his wife.
Yeah, that's very good.
Do you want me to give one last Alan Rickman?
I would love
the last episode.
Yeah.
What position is that? I'm sir on the wrong. A classic fool. So
yeah, that's good stuff.
So have any of you guys ever been into a long distance relationship before?
Yeah, I went out to Golden Grove once. Takes fucking ages to get out.
Yeah, I agree. Especially D-Mac?
No.
You've never been?
No.
So yeah, something happened to me a few months back that I needed to tell the audience. So back in I think it was maybe June, July last year. A girl that I met back on Sal Croatia, which was about 6 years ago, randomly added me on Instagram.
Through the Shout Out podcast?
No, no, just the personal account. Anyway, Adamy got to talking, and we were just talking, here and there, for a couple of months. She actually lived in Melbourne though, but we're obviously out of Adelaide, the Shout Out podcast. So I was actually about a week out. It turns out I was actually going over to Melbourne to go watch Carlton play a game. So I sent her a message and said, "Hey, I'm actually going to be in Melbourne for a game of footy." On the Saturday, do you want to catch up for a drink?
Of course.
On the Friday night. So, she goes, "Yep, sounds good." So all ready to go.
Time and place booked. Were you going to the Royal after the game? Or
the Royal. No, that was on the Saturday, the footy. But this was the Friday for the date. But I called up with a good friend, Tom McVan, on the
Knackers.
on the Thursday night for dinner. And and Liam Clancy as well, another friend of the show, shout out. And and told him, I'm actually catching up with this girl that I went on South Croatia with. And then McVan's like, "So what's the plan?" I was like, "Oh, we haven't made the plans yet. We'll catch up once work's finished." And he's like, "Don't you think that's a bit concerning?" I was like, "Yeah, no, like we've been chatting, like it's fine." And he's like, "I think you should figure out what you're doing."
Generally, a date would have time and place, and
usually. So anyway, it got to the Thursday night. I thought, okay, I'll send her a message, and I said essentially,
"You up?"
I can't wait till Friday. No, I said, so what do you got planned for us for tomorrow night? So she being a Melbourne local, she's like, "Yep, you tell us. You tell us what to do." She worked in the city, but then she lived out, in Melbourne. They, live a little bit further out of town, about 45 minutes out of town. Anyway, so what do you got planned for us tomorrow night? She says that was on the Thursday about 7:30. She doesn't reply the next day until 1:30 p.m. So
that's probably the first signal. I'd say.
Anyway, she said, "I've had to Google some ideas because where you're staying, which is in South Bank, is about an hour or so away. It will depend what time I get out of work." So I said, what did Google come up with? Is it 1:30? 5:20. I hadn't got a reply. So I said, "What time do you knock off from work?" She said, it was meant to be 4:30, but...
last minute meeting on a Friday.
The person who was supposed to come in is called in sick, and she works on call. So it's not just so much 9 to 5.
Yep.
But
that's what she said. She's a telemarketer.
And she goes, "Yeah, it was meant to come in, was called in sick." I said, "Oh, that sucks." She goes, "I'm really frustrated. I've got a headache for 2 days.
No.
And I really want to enjoy my weekend and not do this crap." So I said, "You should never have to work past 5 on a Friday." Good bant by me. This is 6:15 p.m. update. 6:15. I said, I'm just chilling in my hotel room.
I'm horny.
I said, "How much longer till you're done? Should I meet you somewhere near your office for a drink? You certainly deserve one."
Ooh.
There you go.
Good bant.
Wow. What a gentleman.
What a gentleman.
But yep. She goes, "I'm actually at home." So
I'm laughing how elaborate the conversation is. I thought this was going to happen sooner.
Yeah. I'm at home. I know there's a banker. It's a bit of a giveaway. She works at a bank that I can rely on to take over, but it's not till 8. Then I can drive up. Okay. We're back on because I was getting a bit concerned by this stage, as you can imagine.
Banks notoriously very tight hours. Real sort of 9 to 4 operation, sometimes 9 to 3.
Someone actually is behind the ATM.
She wouldn't lie to me though. So, this bank stayed open late.
That's a key detail.
Yeah. I said, "I can meet you somewhere a bit closer to you so you don't have to come to South Bank." She goes, "Oh my God, no, you relax in your hotel room." That was at 7:20. I said, "Are you sure?" And then by that point, we hadn't even discussed whether we were getting a drink, whether we were getting dinner. So I'm like, I'm getting a bit hungry. I went down to the 7-Eleven and grabbed a little a sandwich. Because I was like, I don't want to ruin dinner, so just a little 7-Eleven
Keep
sandwich.
It light as well.
Went and got a 6-pack of Jack Daniels. Yeah. Just sat in my hotel room. Anyway, she goes, "Oh my God, no, you relax in your hotel room." I said, "Are you sure?" At 7:20, 8 o'clock, I sent a message of the TV of just me watching the footy, and I said, "It's all happening here." 8:30, I said,
"Still blues for me."
8:30, how far away are you? 9:30, I'm going to assume you're not going to make it.
I love
it. Yeah, so she ghosted me.
Ever respond after that?
No, No, still nothing.
Still a lot
I
of glue
messaged
there.
her. So I was
Send her a photo of us.
this whole time. I'm messaging Tom McVan and Liam Clancy, who I had dinner with the night before, and I'm giving him updates. I'm like, what? Do I keep fucking messaging or like what do I do here? And they're like telling me. So then like we got this idea a couple of days later. I'm like, all right, I'm fucking pissed off. You know, I had to sit in my hotel room and eat a fucking sandwich and
7-Eleven sandwich and 6 Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Sounds pretty good.
I said,
Some people that's utopia.
I said, hey, on the Sunday, I say, hey, hope you're okay. I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm still in Melbourne if you want to catch up. Just to you know, get the fishing line out there.
Yep.
And no reply. She hasn't replied ever.
No.
What was she like on Kentucky?
She had a boyfriend, so I never really spoke to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably still has a boyfriend.
Potentially, yeah. That's what I'm thinking now. So,
Well, that's,
unlucky in love there. So
A nice, vulnerable story you told us. Hoops.
yeah.
A lot of detail in the back and forth, and I think the listeners are going to appreciate that.
I think I feel like they were in my hotel room with me because there was certainly no one else.
No, that's great. Did the Blues win at least?
They did. They beat Melbourne. Yeah,
cool.
Semi-final. So
Maybe we should go over for a Kangaroos game this year.
do a shout out. One.
Yeah, right.
All right. So yeah.
See if she's free.
What's my lifelines again?
50-50, phone a friend, or ask the audience.
I want to ask the audience.
Okay, our final ever Ask the Audience. We previously asked what is the worst pub in Adelaide. So this time, what we thought we'd do is find out what everyone's favourite pub is. So, DMAC, what did we get in response to our question?
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna, I'd say our favourites first.
Let's just run with it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a podcast.
Yeah. Are we going to say our best first? Or?
What's your favourite?
I was thinking at the end, but yeah, no, go for it.
I was thinking, well, an extension of the pub, but definitely Westlands in Whyalla has an establishment attached to it called the Bottle and Bird, which to my knowledge is the only place in South Australia you can drive through, get a quarter chicken and chips and a 6-pack of Jack Daniels.
That was sent through by one of the listeners.
I'm not surprised.
Billy Giuliano, I think. He was
Westlands
literally
Whyalla?
there. Yeah.
Another one listener.
There we go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
I'd be stoked with that. Great
Mine's
minds
probably-
think alike.
Mine's probably like not as good as that. The Cremorne probably.
Yeah. Why?
Just
You sort of
all
like
round banter.
big venture capital takeovers
It's
of
probably
pubs.
like it's been done up a bit and it's quite nice, but it's just like everything outside area, around the bars area, tab's quite nice. It's all quite nice.
Yeah.
But it's just a fair way from home.
Yeah.
What about you?
And a promise.
All right.
Few
What's
broken
the
promises
first we got there? We got Ben White with the Ed Octagon. Is that like the Ed Castle?
It was the Ed in Mitcham. And
the
then we
Ed.
called it the Octagon because we got in a fight there once. So I was like a UFC.
Oh, it's a good pub. Nice for a Sunday.
Yeah. Foss famously got in a fight, got kicked out, and only left with one thong. They just threw it at him.
You
Swanee Scenic Hotel, great view from the tables outside and a good vibe.
Scenic's a great shout.
Had a date there once, so
She
good,
come?
good date spot. She rocked up
Did
to
you go
that one.
shit?
I think the only thing about the Scenic is more of a summer spring. Bit cold,
Yeah.
but the fire is nice.
Does look awesome.
Funky Cairo's got the Land of Promise.
Yep.
I think we've got a few of those.
Yeah.
Murph likes the Hampstead Sports Bar,
Yep.
mainly because of the greyhound commentary. When we were there once, Murph was just commentating the greyhounds, and he almost got kicked out a couple of times.
We got Gaz from FDC, the Prince Albert Hotel, Melbourne Bitter on tap, and a great pub.
I like Melbourne Bitter.
Famously formerly owned by Zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Friend of the pod.
Yep. Charlie O'Malley, the Kenzie, one of the last classic corner pubs in Adelaide.
I think one of the best things about the Kenzie is more of like a midweek Kenzie, just
Yeah.
a bar sort of atmosphere.
We spent a lot of Sundays there. They used to do the $8 long
Yeah,
neck.
that was good.
They've got some real sort of long-term regulars in there as well.
Yeah,
Remember
there's
when-
that guy who looks like Uncle Vernon from Harry Potter.
Yep, there's a few guys that look like Uncle Vernon in there.
There's no such thing as magic.
People of all genders that look like Uncle Vernon in there.
Timmy Lewis is going with the Bath Hotel for obvious reasons.
Surprise,
but
surprise.
We enjoy the Bath.
He
That's where his bread's buttered, that kid.
he did offer that we do a live recording from the Bath in front of a live audience.
Grant might be keen.
Yeah, is this stuff all portable? Yeah. Thanks, Grant. Who else we got? Franco's gone with Atlanta Promise as well. There is a shower to the side of the stage there, which is used. Who else we got there?
They just went the bands that
Hamish
play, they get
Massey's
too
gone
sweaty.
with the Kentish. A lot of people like the Kentish.
I'm a big fan of the Kentish. Sunday Arvo Kentish. Elite Palmy had there about 2 weeks ago.
Notoriously Henry Schilling's favourite pub as well.
Notoriously, yeah.
Yeah. Newton Road Tavern.
I can't imagine that'd be any good.
I think it's made up to.
Newton Road Tavern.
Thanks
I think that
to Bucks there.
I think he goes for a couple of beers with Seb every now and then.
Yeah, Seb's sick, yeah.
I've heard good things about the Windmill.
Windmill, where is that?
North Adelaide?
Main North Road, mate. Big windmill. You can't miss it.
Yeah, right. I spent too much. Is that
Good
near Golden? Is that near
Once
Golden
again,
Grove? Yeah.
another very good palmy at the windmill.
Yeah, gotcha.
Rory Lados has gone on the Cremorne as well. So just
Yeah.
similar style, similar taste.
First celeb to slide in there.
What about Sparks?
Who?
Billy Parks.
Oh, celebrity.
Yeah.
Yep, he is a celeb. He's running this weekend. The OG Hotel, Diane Sauce, best in Adelaide. Controversial.
That's a good shout.
Alex Kelly said, fucking hell, you guys suck so much.
Any pub you're not at? Cheryl Grieger.
Who's
like
that?
This one.
Yeah.
It's, Jack Grieger's mum.
Did she say
Shout
the
out.
Windsor?
Woolshed.
Ah, the Woolshed.
Because I'm still allowed in.
Yep.
Did you go there with Ray Massey?
Yeah, well, I think she likes the Rain Massey concert.
Yeah. The Karoonda pub on Yorks. Don't know that one.
I think Paul Shaftonau would be across that.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And I think there's just one more. You want to go for that one?
Well, Tom McVan said the Kentish again.
Oh, yeah, I did see
and
that.
Mark Bowler from the Chalkers.
The
He's,
Chalkers.
Three Brothers Arms in Macclesfield, country pub, Guinness on tap, free pool table. So
Well, I think for the fact that
Chalkers pre-season camp.
Billy Giuliano
yeah,
was able to nail Motes' favourite with that sort of. We'll give him entry of the week, so you win another signed stubby holder.
probably got a few now.
So we'll send that one through to you.
Probably the only one that would actually use them as well. So
Yeah, well done. I'll have to check out that.
Yeah. All right. So that's the last ever Ask the Audience.
It's D-Max Top 5.
So, in vein of the fact that we are doing our last ever recording, I thought we should bring back one of my favourite segments, one of the people's favourite segments in Top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, on today's Top 5, I wanted to give my Top 5 of my Top 5s.
top 5ception.
My Top 5 list of my favourite
Top 5s.
Top 5s.
Very good.
Top 5ception. I just got that. Well done. So, 10 top 5s that we had to grace the airwaves over a 3-year period. The feedback was quite good to begin with, and then slowly petered out. But the worst one, of course, was the shape biscuit flavours, accompanied by favourite soft drinks. That was set in by Franco Mignone. So thank you for that.
That's the worst ever top 5.
That was the worst done. That was awful. I
Got
felt
some
so
pretty
bad doing that.
pretty nasty feedback too.
People are very passionate about the shapes flavours.
Yeah.
Plus, you pretty
About-
much said at the end that you only liked about 2 of the flavors.
Yeah.
Well, it was pizza and barbecue, and then we put a poll up, and it was 50-50. So it was
Yeah.
like, well, come on.
About
Yeah.
twice a year, one of my group chats erupts with shapes talk, and I just remove myself for that week.
Do you
Yeah.
like?
I'm a big fan of barbecue, but yeah, probably don't want that.
Let's
on
not go
record.
back.
I've just
Keep your pitch full
I've just
time,
tried Audi with the Audi flavors. Not as good.
Yeah. Shopes.
Honorable mentions would be from episode 5, the online viral memes. Gangnam Style, I think, came second, and Catch Me Outside, how about that, was first. And
You
I do
saying-
like
The holes are laughing.
um,
The audience are a
Dr.
bunch of
Phil
holes.
is so unreal in
Yeah, I know.
that.
Yeah.
Big Brother's Biggest Moments, Ep 7, another honourable mention.
This isn't even the top 5 yet.
Nah, and
Wow.
Adelaide.
How is there 10 top 5s?
And-
We've currently had 3 honourable mentions. We got top 5.
Adelaide related myths, episode 10.
I remember that being pretty shit.
Yeah,
So
that was very bad.
Did that have something to do with Fossil diving off the belly flopping off the Adelaide
I'm
Aquatic
definitely
Centre
going to
diveboard?
mention. Yeah.
And so in number 5, I thought this one probably just gave us the best. It gave us a nice little dynamic, and you contributed a bit towards the end as well. Goes in what you were saying about Bali as well. Best karaoke songs.
Oh, yes.
In
Yes.
my top 5 karaoke songs, with obviously Stan from Eminem coming in number 1. But
Yep.
yeah, like you said, anywhere in Southeast Asia, if they've got like a bar,
Yep.
there'll be karaoke on. And yeah, I know Shields loves doing like With or Without You by U2 and
That was one of the episodes where I was playing like 2-minute clips of songs. So I remember that top 5 going for a long
There's
time.
certain I read the other day. There's certain songs in the Philippines where if you don't give a performance worthy of the song, they will quite literally beat you up.
We're not going there then.
No.
You won't be doing Jesse's Girl over in the Philippines.
Nah, it's one of many reasons I won't be visiting the Philippines.
attack you out.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. Rob Schneider's characters in films.
Oh,
The original episode 4.
I had a feeling that was going to be number 1.
That was
Stiff.
yeah, maybe I've the list for a reason that it's my choice, so I won't take your comments. But Rob Schneider really started us off with some great ones. He had the longest yard, You Can Do It. He had the circle in
the Chuck and Larry.
yeah.
Yep.
Don't know what else I went. I went Juice Bigelow.
Yeah.
I can't remember what 2 and 3 were.
Just Bigelow 2, I think.
No, it was Rob Schneider, the character, so he couldn't have been.
Yep.
I
missed it.
Big Daddy, when he's like, hip hop, hip hop anonymous. Number 3, episode 12, favorite Seinfeld episodes.
Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah.
I enjoyed that, and I did do episodes of Simpsons as well at one stage, which is sort of like an adjunct to that, but that's probably more of an honourable mention because Seinfeld, I think, resonates more with the listeners. And I think I gave it would have to be the Festivus episode as number 1.
Yeah, you did. And yeah, I think that the Soup Nazi didn't even get a special mention.
No, I don't think there's much to that episode.
Controversial.
Yep.
Number 2, the best lines from The Room, episode 15.
Hard to keep that to 5.
I think listening back to that, I think the banter was great because we were just so passionate about that topic. And I think number 2 was one guy found out she beat her up so bad, ended up in a hospital in Guerrero Street. What a story, Mark.
So, how's your sex life?
Drum roll.
Yeah.
Do you remember what number 1 would be now then? What have I missed?
If you get it wrong, you have to impersonate something to do with this top 5.
You went through all the movies, Gary. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Donald Trump's greatest statements as president.
Well done. Yeah.
I wasn't like really buying into this as a topic, and then when I found out all the things he'd said, I was like losing it. And then I think the feedback I'd got from the listeners was the best. Like a lot of people were like enjoyed that and like didn't know about it as well. So, Donald Trump, a lot's happened since the 2021 episode. Like he got dethroned, and then he like stormed the White House and had that guy with like the scarf on, wearing the
Viking
arms.
King,
Yeah, the Viking, Viking was there.
I miss him.
And now he's probably going to be the first president ever to get back in.
Do you want to make a prediction here on shout out?
What are the markets saying at the moment?
I don't know, but like if it's Sleepy Joe, surely he gets in. Do you know?
I'm not into American politics.
There is
a Boris Johnson man.
I'm not sure who my local MP
There
is.
is I don't want to steal your impersonations, but the one more current Donald Trump, I thought I'd give one because he won it. He got onto CNN like live quick address, and it's just him standing up the podium, and he's like, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has died. He died like a dog. He was a coward. And it's just him going for ages. Yeah,
Yep, that's good.
I miss Trump.
Yeah, me too. It's been a pretty sad period with Sleepy Joe. Because like, whilst he has his moments, but most of those moments are where he just
he has moments like your grandfather in the nursing home has his moments.
Yeah, they're not as
moments
funny
of just complete.
When Trump at one stage, I think it was as part of your top 5, where he said, "Well, if you're going to keep testing more, you're going to get more positive results in COVID. So just less testing."
Factually true. Factually true.
And he's like, I think disinfectant that stops the virus. Why don't you just inject that in? It's like, that sort of makes sense.
Use the bleach. So yeah, wow.
Bette Midler's not ugly, so I don't know why she would say that. He was just giving a backhand comment. There was one like, I can't remember.
Yeah, good research. Okay, so that's the final D-Max top 5.
Yeah, thank you. A bit of a tear in the eye there. It was great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last episode where we asked everyone, all our listeners, what's their favorite memory is from the shout out journey. Been over 28 episodes now, so just seeing what everyone's favorite moments are. So Turk, he said handshake off the long run when I graduated from
Oh, that's right.
from uni. When
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a 20 meter.
Yeah.
I just put the hand up
saw the
20
video.
meters early and held on to it. So we discussed that. Who we got there?
Mum's gone with anything to do with Ray Massey, which I think was a pinnacle of the show, a little staple.
Ray Massey is the foundation of the Shout Out podcast. Yeah.
Did Ruben sort of introduce him, or did we have him before Ruben? I think Ruben really spoke about him for ages.
I think there's a fair bit of lore around his upbringing and his past, and I think it had filtered its way up before Rubes, and I think it really exploded when Rubes came in with
just watching YouTube.
Yeah. As a bit of a reminder, some of the moments when he thought that YouTube, you essentially just put a video on and you didn't get to choose after that, so he would just watch whatever was next on.
And it's still to this day doing that, just riding the algorithm.
Yeah. There was also the time that one of Josh's mates rocked up to have beers at their house but didn't realise that Josh had moved house. So they just sat next to Ray Massey and were just watching a movie for half an hour. And I believe that movie was in a different language and he wasn't using subtitles. He was just trying to figure out what was going on.
Yep.
So we do miss Ray. Well, he's still alive, but
Miss talking about him.
my brother has said that Space Dan is one of his favourite memories, so we did talk about that, and also my Love Actually quote, so
which we did today.
we have discussed.
Nice tribute.
It's been like the Seinfeld clip show, just looking back.
Although the finale of Seinfeld got awful ratings, so
Yeah.
that won't end up like
This
that.
is certainly high production value than
Yeah.
those callback shows.
True, and Seinfeld.
Billy Boy Giuliano, our number one fan.
Yeah.
The moment in the episode where you'd announce another season, so he's really sad about the end.
We did. I think we went to about a sixth season, and then he's got less episodes.
And then gone from our number one fan to our least favourite fan, Tony and Alex Kelly, when it stopped.
Yeah, he's a fucking bastard, isn't he? Mark Evans said the time that we got Steve McKenna on the podcast, he talked about we tried to tell him, not to say which pub that he got banned from, and he kept telling us it was the Cumbie. And obviously my impressions there.
We can bleep that out, can't we?
God, Steve.
No need.
That was funny. Dylan Lynch loved when we would crack a crisp Pepsi Max at the start of every pod. We don't have any today, but
he says now every time he does it, he thinks of the show.
that's cute.
It's a nice reminder.
That's very nice.
Nick Murphy loved every second of it and can't narrow it down to one highlight. It was all a high.
Has he listened to an episode before?
He loves it.
Really?
Yeah.
And Ryan Lim has talked about the Bali trip. So when Henry Schilling threw the pot plants into the pool.
I thought he was talking about the one that we just told him. I thought Lemmy may actually be the oracle.
Yeah, so
Did you guys?
I listened back to that when I was reminiscing, and
Was it right?
fuck, it was funny when you're trying to stop him from putting the pot plants in and then having to get 13 trucks up to the house to refill the pool.
It's like a staple comment. It's like Tom O'Malley just got back from Bali. He's like, "Did you get Bali belly?" Yep. Is there any pots in the pool? Yep. Did you guys do it on your trip?
We did no pots in the pool this time.
I don't know if we're putting Motes on the spot, but I guess the episodes that he's been involved in, would he be his highlight? What your high of the show?
I can't say I've listened to every episode, or
It's the ones you're on.
any of the ones that I don't feature in.
Yeah.
The Ruben Lane episodes, I think Winchester UK.
Yeah,
is something that gets stuck in my head every now and then. The random listener from Winchester UK.
There was a random guy who slid into my DMs from Winchester, UK. And
Winchester.
UK. Yeah. I'd have to put it up there. D-Mac, do you have a favourite memory at all, or is it just all?
No, I think it's been great. All of it. I reckon the moment where we went from like caring about it to not caring, that was the best, because then we stopped trying.
That is good.
Yourself?
I think it's when Ruben came on with the Winchester UK. Listening back to that, I was pissing myself.
That got us the most response from people commenting saying, "Oh, that episode was great. Like,
Yeah.
need to get Ruben on again."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there is a spare seat here. Forgot to message him. So
Winchester.
that was that's everyone's memories. I guess final shout outs, the final time anyone's going to get a shout out. So who we have here, Sam Moten wanted a shout out for himself.
Yeah.
You keep going. I didn't even know we did this.
Yep, sorry. Kel wanted to give a shout out to Chaz. Alex Spinner wanted to give one to Tommy O'Malley with their upcoming fantasy draft. How do we feel about fantasy football drafts and stuff? Is it a bit of a nerdburger type
I'm going to
thing?
need another 60 minutes to go into that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a grow up. Raf would like to shout out Christina Applegate.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Hell of a honey.
From
Anchorman. Everywhere.
Yeah,
all
she
at
plays
once,
Raymond's mum on Everyone Loves Raymond, doesn't she?
Do Lynch shout.
She's not my mother.
Do Lynch a shout out to D-Mac Sausage Fest. Are you guys in that group chat still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Lynchy loves he wants to catch up with us soon. So
Pretty busy.
getting around Lynchman lately. I'm a big fan.
No one else in that chat wants to catch up with you, so that might be awkward.
Yep.
Murph wants to give a shout out to my uncle, Unky down by the lake,
Okay.
the tyre swing.
That's cute.
Yeah.
My brother just wanted to give a shout out to the Shout Out podcast for all the good times.
Yeah.
So,
Bit of brown nosing from Skittle here.
Yeah. Yep. Menzi wants to give a shout out to Sluggo Rose.
Of course, the legend of the Semaphore Souths, teammate of BJ.
I don't think we can even get into that one, but there was a guy who used to work at the bar at the footy club who used to just have a couple of red wines on a Friday night.
He'd get slaughtered and post emotional tributes in our group
slid
chat.
into my DMs once. It was horrifying.
Turk,
Yep.
Turkey DJ Turk Bulls, Alex Crocker and his industrial cow transporter.
Yeah, I think we talked about it at some stage, but
That's good.
He's
And
man.
last
And
one for yourself.
Swanee, Max McKay, who lives in Sydney. So shout out to Maxie.
Maxie was always too big for
Hope
Adelaide.
he's going well. So they're the last shout outs we got. Something that we brought in just towards the end of our recordings. Would we always
Maybe the last episode.
Did
Did we just bring it in last?
No,
episode?
there was a couple, I think, but our good friend Fossil used to be a bit of a unit on the social media after a couple of cans. So we wanted to finish off with either a status or something that he posted. So he posted here as a status. And he was quoting Sam Moten in this status.
Oh, I know where this is going. This is don't speak ill of the dead, but he's misquoted me here.
He's quoted Sam Moten, and Sam Moten has said, Shane Warne didn't spin it that much. Following on from that, Sam Motor has gone, this is about as audacious as it gets. You claim that you never said that?
Go along with the gag. You're not going to kill the gag.
Anyway, Fossil goes, this wasn't taken out of context in any way.
See, that's how you know it was. You don't say that unless it absolutely was.
How much do you need one man to turn a ball to be satisfied? The king of spin just not quite moving it enough for you, mate. Pretty stiff on the great man, I would have thought.
Oh, good.
Yep.
What's your response to that, mate?
I mean, it was part of a broader conversation. It was taken out of context. Certainly not my intention to say Shane Warne didn't spin the ball.
What context was it in when Shane Warne didn't spin it that much?
We were actually talking about Stuart McGill.
Yeah.
And I was saying about how he relied on turning the ball sideways, whereas Warne didn't need to spin it as much to take wickets, and that got taken into Shane Warne doesn't spin it.
Right.
Well, I famously said that if I'd bowled every day in the nets, I'd just be just as good as Stuart McGill. Maybe not Shane Warne.
You did say, the 10,000 hours. You could take a year off work and just learn from Shane Warne.
Yeah, Nathan Lyon's ready to retire. So
Yeah. So
Shout out to Foss.
Shout out to Foss.
Shout out to Foss.
Pour one out for the great man, a Pepsi Max ideally. Shout out. So that's an end. Looking back at some of the stats over the years, our first ever episode was back in May 2020, so over 4 years ago. Actually, no, it's not. Almost 4 years ago. When COVID hit, we've had over 11,700 listens over the journey.
and counting.
Yep. The most listened to episode was the first episode, which, as it turned out, was probably the worst episode. 770 listeners.
Yeah, wow. I think we ended up making like the iTunes like top 10 that day, and then like, we're gonna go real well, and then everyone's like, this sucks.
It really dropped off. The least listened to episode was 246 listeners. That was episode 25, so 2 episodes ago.
One with moats on it.
No, it wasn't with
Wouldn't have
notes,
thought
no.
so.
Can I just quickly interject?
Yep.
So some podcast stats for you.
Sure.
In 2021, there were roughly 2 million podcasts. 90% of podcasts don't get past episode 3. So there's 1.8 million who quit.
Yep.
Of the 200,000 left, 90% will quit after 20 episodes. That's another 180,000 gone. So to be in the 1% of podcasts in the world, you need to publish at least 21 episodes. So we reached 28. So we've made the top 1% of podcasts in the world. Thoughts? That's math.
Yeah, I guess it says something about just how much
How many bad ones there are
Yeah,
out there?
it doesn't mean it's good. It just means that we were persistent.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
But I mean, glass half full or
Yeah.
half
Yeah.
empty. So
Well, this is your second podcast. Your first one gets
Third.
to...
you had another
with
podcast. Yeah.
yeah, we did. Let's not delve into that.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah, don't speak about the dead. Least listened to episode 25. And so we had some guests over the years. So Bo Williamson was our first ever guest. Then we had Steve McKenna, who came on. John O'Kerner, he was our first ever wine sponsor through Kerner Wines. Ruben Lane came on twice with us. Ed Sash
Great
came
radio
on.
voice. Great radio
Yeah.
voice. Ed
Sorry.
Sash.
He told a story how when he was battling cancer, he was given a book, 100 albums you should listen to before you die.
Interesting taste.
Still listening.
Brad Hollis came on with us. Good boy energies. Sam Moten was one of our guests.
Thanks, Sammy.
Damien Moyle from Damien Moyle Racing. Henry Schilling came on.
From throwing pots in the barley.
He did. And the Charity Walk crew, my brother Boff and Luke Manuel. So they're all gone on to do great things since coming on here. I would have thought.
Launching pad, really.
Yeah.
So thank you to all those.
Thank you very much. Made it what it was today. And of course our sponsors, who could forget, they actually, gave us money to get this going. So Elliott Constructions, O'Malley Outdoor Creations, Glimpse Oz, Fierce 3, is here now, Mismatch and Kerner Wine. Listening back to some of those ads we used to do, that was probably...
Yeah, that's peak.
Yeah.
I think if you've got a stubby holder with some of those sponsors on it, obviously get in contact with the sponsors if you need any of the work, but also hold on to those because they'll probably appreciate.
Yeah, I imagine they're already going to double.
I would agree. So that's it, guys. That's the end of the Shout Out podcast. It's emotional. How's everyone feeling?
Moto?
Yeah, quite emotional. Yeah.
I think,
Waterfall?
Yeah, Waterfall, as I was known. Shout out to you, Moto, for bringing the listeners over from your previous podcast and for always being a great guest or part of the three, I guess, now. And my final shout out, my only shout out would be to you, Hoops. It's been an unreal journey. Thanks for the laughs, mainly us laughing at our own stuff. But I did enjoy the team's document where we'd put down our run sheets. We would sort of bicker about what we're going to put in it, the sort of seriousness that we had at the start. Trying to get guests to get our listenership up, accepting that we were pretty shit, and then just going with like getting our mates on it and trying to make it fun for us. Definitely an amazing hobby that I've had for the last 4 years. And I've really appreciated doing it with you. And you're definitely much better at this stuff than I am. So you could probably go on with some sort of career in podcasting if you wanted to. You're not that funny though.
Very kind words. I wish I could agree, but listening back to the episodes recently, I couldn't. I hated my work. So, looking back, we thought I think we were going to get celebrities on and stuff. We tried to ask, Johnny Kapiris from St. Bernard's Fruit and Veg and, AFL players. But then we just realised...
Really high. Shot for the moon, didn't you, boys?
Yeah, but then we just realised it was funny getting mates on.
I had a patient at work that was like, oh, I know Darren Cahill. Like, do you want to get him on? I'm like, no, that's probably too serious. Probably not a vibe.
Not our forte. So, Moto, thank you for everything. D-Mac, I want to share my sentiments with you, mate. It's been an absolute journey. We've been mates for a long time, and I've been through some ups and downs through this 4 years. So this has actually been a bit of a bright spark, as much as the product that comes up might not sound that great, but it's been good. It's been good fun. So thank you very much, mate. So goodbye to our shout out listeners. We'll keep all the old episodes there, so you can go back and reminisce.
If anyone wants to come to the after party, we'll be at the
Harry's Bar.
Harry's Bar. All right, lovely.
I think there's only about 12 episodes of Faulty Towers. People still talk about that all the time.
They do. So thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Hoops. Thanks, Moto.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, it's done.